Hey you guys, I'm back with another DIY tutorial, and today we're going to learn how to make our own puffer coats. It's so in trend right now, I just had to make my own, so I'm going to teach you guys. You'll need 3 yards of batting, 2 yards of lining fabric, 2 yards of your fashion fabric, pins, 1.5 inch wide elastic, and a 20 to 25 inch zipper. And also you will need your pattern materials because you'll be making your own pattern, of course. For the pattern, I traced around an existing jacket that I own. Only difference is I made it 1 inch wider than my jacket because you need extra room for the puff, and I lowered the armhole by 1.5 inches. For the back, I repeated the same steps. I repeat the same steps for my sleeve, except I make it 1 inch wider on both sides, and I add a 2.5 inch sleeve cap to the top because you need extra room for the puff. Keep in mind you'll also need a waistband, a wrist cuff, and a collar band for your jacket. If making your own pattern is too complicated, in the link below I will have a downloadable pattern for purchase. Cut your backs on fold and double the batting pieces. Cut 2 of your fronts in each fabric and double the batting pieces. Cut 2 sleeves out of each fabric and double the battings. Next, you'll need to draw equal sections on your batting pieces. I know my sleeve looks a little ratchet, but I didn't want a lot of batting at my wrists and at my shoulders. Next, you'll need to pin your batting to your fashion fabrics and then quilt on the lines. After you're finished quilting, it should look a little something like this. Repeat the steps for both your fronts and your back pieces. Then you'll need to pin your sleeves closed and sew on the side seams. After you finish sewing, your sleeve should look just like this, all super puffy and cute. Pin your front pieces to your back piece. Then continue to sew on the side seams and at the shoulder seams. After all that quilting and sewing, you should have the shells of your sleeves and the shell of your coat completed. Next, you'll need to pin your sleeves into the vest part of your coat. You'll need to ease the sleeve into the armhole. Next, you'll need to sew that seam together. Make sure you take your time. It needs to look perfect. Then you need to repeat those steps to your lining pieces. Your lining piece should look something like this. Cut out two 4-inch wide strips of fabric the same length as your wrist, and then repeat the steps on the elastic, making it 1 inch smaller. Then cut out one 4-inch strip the same length as your coat waist. Pin and sew your pieces together just like this. Now pin your waistband that you created onto the waist of your jacket. It might be a little complicated at first, but just take your time pinning. And I'm still pinning the waist onto the jacket. Can you guys comment down below what steps you actually want to see on DIY tutorials? Because I've been doing a couple of them, but I'm not sure what's necessary to show. Then you'll need to repeat the steps for the wristband. Sew your wristbands and your elastic waist to your jacket. Make sure you take your time on this too. After you do that step, it should look a lot like this. Your jacket's going to be coming along very nicely. And now we're going to start working on the collar. Cut out a 4-inch strip the same length as your neck and a 2-inch strip of batting. Now pin your collar to your neckline. Make sure you leave a 1/2 inch opening on both ends of your collar because you'll need to cover up your zipper. Okay, you guys, so next you'll need to put on your zipper onto your jacket. Make sure you pin it into place evenly. I had to do mine about 2 or 3 times because it just wasn't matching up at the neck. Once everything is pinned in place, sew your zipper down. Make sure you don't sew on the back sides of your waistband and your collar. I know this step is a little complicated, but you don't have a lining to cover up your zipper at the top or at your waistband. Your zipper should be sewn just like this on your collar. Your waistband should be sewn only at the top part too, leaving a section in the back open. After you've done all the extra steps for the zipper, your jacket should look just like this. Look all super cute. Make sure you cut all the threads. Zip it up to make sure everything's aligned. And now we're gonna add in the lining. So now we need to sandwich in the lining, the wrong sides together. Everything smooth should be on your skin when you put it on. Pay close attention to this step. It's really complicated to explain, but you'll need to fold your wrists back and pin the outer edges of your wristband and your linings together. You only need to do a small piece of it because you can pull it through on the inside later. Here's a close-up of pinning the wrong edges together. Next, you can pull that jacket piece through and pin the wrong edges all the way around on your wrist. Sew your wrist seam around in a circle. And it should look something like this when you're finished sewing. Repeat that step for the other sleeve. After that step, you should be able to pull your sleeve back without a problem. Your lining on your jacket should look like this at this point. all the seams on the inside, all the batting on the inside, and nothing but smoothness on your lining and on your fashion fabric. Now you need to pin the neck of your lining to the neck of your puffer coat. Pin your necklines on the wrong side. Neckline should look something like this with your right side of fabrics on the inside. Then sew that seam at a 1/2 inch. Now we need to attach your lining to your waistband, and we'll repeat the same steps as we did on the neckline. Your waistband and your lining should be pinned just like this. Sew those seams together at a 1/2 inch. Now you'll need to pull your jacket through the little holes and everything like that. It's gonna look very complicated, but if you sewed everything correctly, it should be a breeze. At this point, the only thing you have left is to sew your lining to your zipper, and then that's really it. Off camera, I decided to hand sew my lining to my zipper because my batting was just a little too thick for my sewing machine. But yeah, after that step, you have a complete coat. It will look like this. It should zip up. You should look super cool. I'm thinking about doing mine in a patent red leather next for my daughter. And I decided to pair mine with a simple black outfit and throw on my Vans because I'm really into streetwear right now. And I'm probably going to make a bigger version of this actually. But that's really it, you guys. If you like this, comment, subscribe. But that's it. I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Stay blessed.